welcome to the TRS 280 newsroom. On this morning's featured story, we'll be talking about Romulism, a pre-modern religion. It is said that this religion was practiced in a pre-modern Bedouin community in the modern-day Middle East. The climate of this area was very dry, and water is very scarce, and the main food staples were sheep and goats. The leader of this religion was referred to as the Sheikh. I'll now kick it to Katie, who will be talking about...
It's a polytheistic religion, which means that they believe in many gods. Each god is responsible for something crucial to desert survival. The main god is Al-Jabal, and he is the ruler of the lesser animal gods. Al-Jabal himself is non-animal, but he is also non-human. He is considered to be a spirit. He keeps the balance between the animal gods and has characteristics wise, just, and merciful. He is a father-like figure, and the sheiks of the culture's tribes look up to him and they aspire to be like him. The eagle is attributed to the afterlife. Portraying positive, strong qualities in one's lifetime will lead to spending their lifetime in the sky or the heaven. The next god is Al-Akrib, or the scorpion. The scorpion controls the sun and the heat and keeps the desert hot and dry. He also creates major storms. When he is angered, he creates sandstorms. The scorpion is temperamental, narcissistic, and stern, and he is also in charge of the underworld. If someone portrays poisonous qualities in their life or makes poor, threatening decisions, they will spend their afterlife in the underworld with the poisonous scorpion. The next god is Al-Quta, the fox. The fox is the mother goddess and represents creation of all living things. She ensures that there are green areas for the sheep and the goats to feed and creates all the vegetation. She controls and leads all of the other wildlife and also ensures that there's a period where the area is fertile and not unbearably hot and dry. This is the spring where there's rain and floods. The spring is a result of a compromise with the scorpion, Al-Akrib. The fox is very nurturing, calm, and peaceful. Next is Al-Jamil, the camel. The camel is in charge of water and ensures that there is water throughout the dry desert. He discusses the importance of containing and preserving such basic necessities to life. He is known to guide the people to find water, and he is relied upon for safe travels throughout the desert. Lastly is Al-Maitan, the snake. The snake is the messenger god and is known to carry important messages between gods and the tribes. He also oversees trading between the tribes. And since most people don't grow their own crops, the Maitan helps distribute them. He's in charge of keeping track of fair trade, but is also very cunning, sneaky, and clever.
Emphasis on balance and equality is essential to the symbol of Romulism, the most important visual aspects being the animals and what they represent. Al-Jamil, the camel, represents water. Al-Maitan, the snakes, represents trading and acts as a messenger between the gods and the worshippers. And Al-Akrib, the scorpion, controls the sun, represents anger, and resides in the underworld. Al-Nasir, the eagle, represents the sky and is attributed with the afterlife, which all worshippers strive to achieve. Next, Al-Quta, the fox, represents the creation of living things and ensures a period in which the land is fertile. Al-Jamal is the main god, a spirit which has dominion among all the lesser gods, and is wise, just, merciful, and acts as a father-like figure. This culmination of forces convey a sense of communal kinship among worshippers in order to survive and understand the powers which govern their lands.
I'll next be talking about Romulism's cosmogony, or its origin story. I'll be reading the religion's main origin story for the world. Many, many moons ago, a being emerged from an explosion of sand. This being walked for miles, for days on end, and found nothing but said sand. He eventually decided that the sand needed something else. It needed life. He created a companion, a fox. Together, he and the fox gave the world vegetation. They made plants, beautiful bodies of water, and many animals and creatures to inhabit it. They next made the sky, along with the sun and the moon, so that there could be night and day, and a way to tell time. Lastly, they made people so that they could inhabit the land and care for it and the other animals among it. After creating all they did, the fox and this being decided that it was necessary to have an afterlife. There was a heaven or paradise in the sky for those who lived a good and virtuous life, and a land of misery and torment below the ground for those who made poor choices. The eagle was chosen to patrol the sky and portray the positive and strong characteristics of life. He was the ruler of the heaven. Oppositely, the scorpion was chosen to rule and oversee the underworld. As a poisonous creature, he was in charge of those who lived a poisonous life. Angered by the responsibility he was given, the scorpion brightened the sun and turned all the beautiful vegetation back to the sand in a hot, dry desert. He felt as though he deserved to have been given more control over the land, and vowed that if he must control such a terrible place, everyone else must suffer in the heat. However, the fox and the scorpion came to a compromise. The land would have 3 seasons: a summer that was very hot, a winter that was very hot and dry, and a spring that had plenty of rain to bring the vegetation back to the land. The camel was assigned to help the people of the land find water and other basic needs, while the snake oversees the communication and trading between the gods and many tribes of the land. These 5 animals came to be worshipped greatly by the people of this land. The fox is now known as Al-Quda, or the mother goddess. The eagle is Al-Jasir, god of the sky. The scorpion, Al-Aqrib, controls the underworld. Al-Jamil, the camel, is relied upon for safe travels and fulfilling life's basic necessities, and the snake, Al-Maitan, is the messenger god. Lastly, the being who first emerged from the sand is known as Al-Jabal. He is not an animal, nor is he human, but he oversees the peace and balance between all the animal gods, as well as the people of earth, and is a beloved image and inspiration to all. Romulism has many rituals. One of the most important and main rituals is one of initiation, the initiation of a new sheik of a tribe. The sheik is the main authority figure of a tribe, and their succession is patrilineal, meaning they're descended through the male line of a family. Although one may become a leader by blood, he must first prove his worth through this initiation process. First is separation. The man is separated from his family and the tribe. He must go off on his own into the desert. The next stage is transition. While he is in the desert, he must survive on his own for 3 moons, bringing nothing with him but the clothes on his back. He must use his resources and his instinct to find any water or food and keep himself alive throughout the hot and dry journey. Lastly is reincorporation, where the man is renamed as the next sheik of his tribe. He is expected to continue to portray such qualities of wisdom, bravery, and leadership in his new role.
We will now see a simulation of the initiation ritual. Given that we do not live in a desert climate, we will be using the wooded area near CUA to demonstrate this.
In order to become the new sheik, you must survive for 72 hours out there in the desert. Do you think you can do it? I can. Good. Good luck. You have survived. Congratulations, you are now the new sheik.
The holy book of Romulism is known as Qasas el-Sahara, which translates to the stories of the desert. It is divided between 6 chapters, 1 chapter dedicated to one of the 6 gods. The first of 5 chapters are dedicated to the lesser gods, and the final book is dedicated to the ruler of the rest of the gods. The chapters are El-Nisr, the eagle, Al-Aqrib, the scorpion, Al-Quta, the fox, Al-Jamil, the camel, and Al-Matin, the snake. The leader of these gods is not an animal and is known as El-Jabal. This chapter ties the morals and lessons from the other chapters together and lays out the set of standards that people of this religion should follow. The Escape of Hani and Husna, Chapter 3 of El-Jamil. After a bloody invasion of their hometown by a nearby tribe, 2 siblings named Hani and Husna escaped. but were alone and unprepared to walk in the vast, hot desert. After 5 days with no food or water, the siblings prepared for death. "Why could we not have been killed in the invasion?" exclaimed Hanny. While walking in the barren desert, they stumbled along an injured camel. The camel looked like it was in pain, and Husna asked, "What is wrong?" The camel told the siblings that he is old and lost the rest of his family. Hanny and Husna decided to help the camel. "We're in a similar position," said Hanny. "We'll try to look for anything that can help us live," said Husna as she pet the camel. The camel put the siblings on its back, and they started their adventure. After a day of traveling, they stumbled upon a small puddle of fresh water. They all screamed for joy, but there was only enough for one. After a moment of silence, Hanny and Husna decided to let the camel take the water. Still parched, the siblings set out on their journey with the camel. During the journey, they sang songs and told stories. Eventually, the camel fell and became weak. "Go without me," the camel said, but the siblings refused. As the camel lay there dying, the siblings comforted it. As the camel takes his last breath, he tells the siblings to look behind them. There is a green field with meat ready to be cooked, and with an abundance of fruit and water. As the kids turned back to the camel, it was gone. Although the result may not be instant, doing nice things for others will always benefit you in the end. Go out and think of others and live in a happy relationship with one another. We all benefit through selfless deeds.
So now I will be discussing the origin of evil story. In the early times of civilizations, resources were plentiful, including water. Yet, one day, a leader of the tribe became greedy, and he began to take these goods from the people, including this precious water. From this point forward, water was a scarcity in the community, and to survive, it was essential for everyone to come together in unity.
We will now discuss the code of ethics for Romalism. This religion uses a teleological ethics. Because workers live in a communal lifestyle, every decision has consequences. When leaders or citizens of the community act in a deviant way, everyone suffers. An example of this is the story of the origin of evil. When a leader was greedy and took more than he was allocated, everyone suffered. But when leaders allocate the right way and give every citizen their rightful share, good things happen and everyone prospers. I'll finish tonight's report talking about the means to salvation. Communal life is integral to the success and health of the society, and each action taken should be done so with the well-being of everyone in mind. It is paramount that one exhibits a life well lived for the equality of all people, otherwise that they may be living a poisoned life, and salvation will become unobtainable for them. Agriculture preservation, nurturing the land in the footsteps of Al-Quda, as well as the frugal and careful use of water, remains vital to those who follow Romalism and live within the community. Fairness and equality, whether through ethical treatment of others or economical trade, is also necessary if one is to remain pure and free from living a poisoned life, and therefore reaching salvation and thus adhering to teleological ethics. We will now be going out to the field to hear the thoughts of Romalism by some CUA students. We will now be interviewing a CUA student. Excuse me, sir?
Yeah,
Have you ever heard of the religion of Romalism?
I have not.
But after seeing that piece, what did you find most interesting about it?
I think the most interesting thing was going in the desert with nothing for 3 days, and honestly, when you come out, that person's worthy enough to be a leader.
Thank you very much for your thoughts.
Well,
As always, thank you for tuning into the TRS 280 News.